One masked dance changes everything for the most restless Bridgerton. A breath, a touch, a spark that refuses to fade. Tonight the music finds him and destiny wears a silver mask. Strings rise and chandeliers glow while the floor of the grand ball turns like a galaxy under silken candlelight. This is the Tun at its brightest, where one glance can crown a dream or crush a name. Benedict waits at the edge, a painter who longs for truth inside a world built on polish and performance. He has chased beauty on canvas and in quiet corners, yet it slips away like light on water. Fans flicker like wings, smiles hide wagers, every step a move in a game. Older than any crest, he lets the music slow time and promises that tonight he will not drift. Not be only the charming brother who laughs to hide a tender ache, whispers curl like smoke. Lady Whistledown hints at a mystery guest. Masks are required, rules are soft where romance is concerned. A bell rings, the dance begins, partners change like seasons. Lace brushes, gloved hands. The room hums with stories for tomorrow. Benedict moves with the tide, eyes searching for something he cannot name, something like a door opening inside his chest. A silver figure passes near, not grand yet radiant, her mask catching candlelight and throwing it back like moon water, her gown speaking of grace rather than fortune. The air tightens. He has seen beauties and left easy smiles behind, yet this is calm and thunder together. A voice he has waited to hear before he knew he was listening. She turns a fraction and the space between them changes shape. The orchestra swells as if urged by fate, and his world steadies like a hand before the first true stroke. Friends call, yet the sound blurs because the silver mask has become the horizon, so he steps forward with quiet courage and asks for the next dance. Their gazes meet and the room softens. A simple yes passes between them, hands touch in a proper hold, respectful and firm, and the dance carries them in a slow circle toward mirrored walls like a promise. He wonders what life has asked her to endure to stand here with such calm in a room that weighs every breath. Her voice is low and careful but warm, and when she laughs once brief and bright, it sounds like freedom finding a way back to the surface. The dance ends, yet the music inside them does not. And as hands part, they share the thought that this night began like any other and has become the night by which all others will be measured. A fan snaps shut. The spell thins. Courtiers shift like tides, and the silver figure is guided away, leaving lavender in the air and a question that will not go quiet. Who is she and how soon can he find her again? The night after the ball feels heavy with questions that refuse to rest, and Benedict is no stranger to sleepless hours. Yet this time the canvas before him stays empty no matter how long he stares at it. He dips his brush. He tries to sketch the lines of the mask, the tilt of her head, but every stroke fades like mist. He is restless not because he cannot capture her face, but because he cannot capture the feeling that shook him when their hands touched. It was not just attraction, it was recognition, as if two lives that had wandered in silence finally found each other in the crowded glow of chandeliers. London whispers fast, and the morning sheets carry the teasing ink of Lady Whistledown, hinting at a mysterious masked woman who caught the eye of more than one gentleman. The Tun loves a riddle, and tongues wag over breakfast tables, but Benedict keeps his silence. He knows his brothers will laugh and tease, yet his secret is too delicate for careless chatter. He walks the streets with a sharper gaze than ever, before scanning carriages, doorways, and markets, half believing she might appear in plain daylight, though the memory insists she belongs to night and candlelight. Meanwhile, Sophie's world is different from the glittering halls. She returns not to a grand carriage but to shadows and restraint. Her steps are measured because she knows that discovery could ruin her. To stand in the Bridgerton ballroom was not her right but her stolen moment, borrowed with courage and risk. She holds the memory close like a flame in winter, both warming and dangerous. Each heartbeat reminds her that she crossed a boundary no one invited her to cross, yet she cannot regret it. For in Benedict's gaze she felt seen as herself, not as a servant, not as an orphan, but as a woman of worth. As days pass, the pull between them grows, though distance and silence stretch wide. Benedict throws himself into art, paint smudging his hands, canvases littered with half-finished works, each one trying to reach the truth of her. He paints fragments, silver, lavender, eyes that he cannot perfectly remember. And though he curses his failure, the studio becomes a sanctuary for longing. At night, he returns to the same thought. She is real, not a dream, and he will find her again. At the same time, Sophie hides her heart behind duty. She moves through her daily life quietly, hands roughened by work, but her mind lingers on a single dance. She tells herself it is foolishness, a dream that belongs to another world. Yet hope blooms against reason. She fears what will happen if he ever learns who she truly is, and whether his love could endure the truth of her station. Both hearts beat in different worlds, yet both are restless. The city is wide, but fate has a way of weaving threads tighter with every passing day, drawing Benedict closer to the moment when silver will shine before him once more, and Sophie closer to the choice between hiding forever or stepping into the fire of love and scandal. Rain falls across London, steady and unrelenting, turning the cobblestones slick under carriage wheels. Benedict walks with his collar high, his thoughts louder than the storm. Every corner feels like a stage where fate could finally reveal her. He has searched ballrooms, gardens, galleries, and yet the silver mask remains a memory. Frustration grows, but so does determination, because something in his soul tells him she is not gone. He paints her every night, silver turning to shadow, shadow to light, until his hands ache and his heart races with unfinished longing. Sophie, too, feels the weight of the season pressing down. The grandeur of the Bridgerton world is behind her now, but she carries its echo in every breath. She works quietly in the household that owns her labor, hiding her heart behind silence. Still, the memory of Benedict's eyes follows her like a secret melody. She fears discovery more than anything, for to be caught would mean disgrace, punishment, perhaps ruin. Yet she cannot erase the moment they danced, and in secret, she allows herself to whisper his name when no one can hear. The ton grows restless, with new scandals. Whistledown writes of secrets behind masks, of alliances forming in shadow, of romances that threaten to upend old traditions. Benedict reads each column with a clenched jaw, knowing the words never name her, yet somehow they point toward her absence. He feels mocked by the city itself, as though London is daring him to find her or surrender his heart to silence. One evening, fate stirs. A carriage brakes on a muddy street, wheels stuck deep in ruts. Benedict is there, helping strangers, offering his hand to children, his nature ever generous. From the corner of his eye he sees a figure, cloaked and hurried, lifting her skirts just enough to step across the water. His breath catches, not for the face he cannot fully see, but for the grace of her movement, the same calm strength that held him during the dance. His heart pounds, urging him to follow, but duty binds him to the moment, to help, to serve, to finish what he began with those who need him. By the time he turns, she is gone, vanished into the night like a secret carried away by rain. Yet, hope has returned sharper than before, because now he knows she walks these same streets. He vows silently that he will not rest, not until he finds her name, her truth, her hand once more. Sophie too has seen him, though she dares not let her eyes linger. Her heart leaps at the sight of him, his kindness visible even in the simplest act of helping strangers. She wants to run to him, to call out, but fear chains her to silence. She slips into shadow, clutching the memory tighter than ever, knowing that their paths are destined to cross again, no matter how wide the world tries to keep them apart. The season pushes forward with new gatherings and brighter nights, yet beneath the glitter there is a storm building, and at its center stand Benedict and Sophie. Their lives, once moving apart like lines never meant to touch, now draw closer, with every turn of fate. A masquerade has lifted, yet the masks of society remain. Benedict is called to duty as a Bridgerton, with expectations pressing on his shoulders heavier than any paintbrush or canvas. Suitors are suggested, alliances are whispered, and family honor is weighed against his restless heart. He listens politely, but his mind is not in the drawing rooms or at the card tables. It is with the silver figure who has haunted his dreams. Since that night, Sophie carries her own chains, though hers are not of silk and expectation, but of birth and circumstance. She lives under the shadow of cruelty, a ward treated as less than family, her worth measured only by her labor. Yet inside she holds a spirit unbroken, a strength no harsh word can steal. She tells herself not to think of him, not to believe, that a Bridgerton could ever look twice at her if he knew the truth. Still her heart rebels, beating faster at every memory of the ballroom, every glance that hinted at something deeper than the game of the ton. The city hums with rumor, and Lady Whistledown sharpens her pen, hinting at scandal rising like thunderclouds. A Bridgerton caught in forbidden desire, a young woman of no name who dares to dream. The whispers grow sharper until they spread through parlors and over tea tables. Benedict feels the weight of every eye, the suspicion of every smile, and yet when he closes his eyes, all he sees is Sophie's grace, the quiet strength in her gaze that told him she was unlike anyone else. Then comes the night of revelation. At a gathering lit with candles and filled with laughter, fate finally loses patience. Sophie enters not as a guest of honor, but as a shadow at the edges, serving with humility, unseen by those who consider themselves great. But Benedict sees her. His heart stops, then surges forward as if it had been waiting for this exact moment. He steps across the polished floor with determination, ignoring the startled glances, ignoring the whispers that begin to rise. Their eyes meet once more, unmasked by the glow of truth. For a heartbeat, the world is silent. She bows her head, shame and fear fighting against hope. He does not waver. He reaches for her hand, steady and sure, his voice quiet yet powerful, as he says her name. The hall gasps, scandal crackling in the air, yet between them it feels like freedom. It is a beginning wrapped in fire and risk. The ton may turn against them, families may resist, secrets may wound. But in that moment, under the weight of every judgment, Benedict and Sophie choose to stand together, knowing their story has only just begun. The truth once revealed does not fade back into silence. It spreads through drawing rooms and across parlors faster than the candle smoke that curls above a ballroom. Whispers become weapons, and soon Sophie's name is carried in hushed tones, spoken with both curiosity and disdain. The world of the ton thrives on scandal, and now its eyes turn with hunger toward the unlikely bond between a Bridgerton son and a girl of no title. Yet in the middle of the storm, Benedict stands tall, his resolve sharper than ever. He no longer wishes to chase beauty on canvas, for now he fights to protect the living beauty of the woman he loves. Sophie feels the weight of every glance, the sting of words meant to wound. She knows what society expects, that she should vanish, quietly, slip back into the shadows where her life began. Yet her spirit resists. Each cruel word only deepens her understanding that love is not granted by birth or blood, but by the courage to claim it against all odds. For the first time, she allows herself to believe in a future shaped not by fear but by choice. Still she trembles because choice comes with consequence, and the higher the risk, the greater the cost. Benedict's family, too, is drawn into the fire. Some warn him that his reputation is at stake, that the Bridgerton name must be preserved, like polished silver. Others see the fierce devotion in his eyes and begin to understand that love has chosen him as much as he has chosen Sophie. Yet even in the warmth of family bonds, doubt lingers. Can a union born of such scandal survive the cold judgment of London society? The streets murmur with speculation while Lady Whistledown sharpens her pen into a blade. She writes of secrets, hidden too long, of walls crumbling around privilege, of hearts that dare to defy tradition. Her words stir the city, and every column reads like a challenge placed directly before Benedict and Sophie. Yet where others see warning, Benedict sees clarity. For him, every obstacle proves the depth of what he feels. Every whispered insult is a reminder that his love is worth defending. Sophie stands at the edge of her world, fear and hope battling within her when Benedict takes her hand again. This time, not in the safety of a dance, not under the protection of a mask, but in full view of those who would judge them. His hand is steady, his eyes unshaken, and in that touch he promises her more than words ever could. He promises that no matter the storm, he will not let her go. The scandal burns brighter, but within the flames grows something stronger than gossip, stronger than reputation. A bond forged in truth and tested by the world around them. A love that refuses to bow. The Tun may whisper and Whistledown may write, but Benedict and Sophie have chosen their path, and it is one neither power nor fear can erase. The storm of scandal cannot last forever, and like every tempest it leaves behind clear skies and broken branches. London's whispers grow tired, attention shifts to new tales, yet for Benedict and Sophie, the true trial is only beginning. Love has brought them together, but trust and sacrifice must hold them in place. Their bond is tested not by the noise of the Tun, but by the quiet moments when doubt slips in. Can Sophie believe that she deserves to stand at his side? Can Benedict prove that his devotion is more than rebellion against society's rules? Benedict chooses action over words. He brings Sophie into his world, not as a secret to be hidden, but as a truth to be lived. He walks beside her in gardens where whispers still linger. He defends her name in parlors where titles matter more than hearts. And he paints her face with the reverence of a man who has finally found his muse. Each stroke of his brush is not just art, but defiance, a declaration that the woman he loves is worthy of every honor and every place in his life. Sophie, too, must find her strength. She has carried years of silence, years of being told she is less than others, years of bowing her head to survive. Now she learns to lift her chin and speak with courage. She begins to see herself not as a shadow, but as a flame, burning quietly, yet powerfully, her light undeniable. In Benedict's arms she feels hope, but within her own heart she finds something greater, the will to claim her place in the world. The Bridgerton family, once uncertain, now witnesses the depth of what stands before them. They see Benedict unshaken, Sophie unyielding, and together they understand that love has made them stronger than scandal ever could. Some relatives embrace Sophie warmly, others take longer to soften, but with each day, the resistance fades. Family dinners shift from doubt to laughter, and slowly the foundation of acceptance is built. Lady Whistledown writes again, her words carrying a sharper edge of irony. She notes that the city expected a downfall, yet instead has witnessed a rise. A Bridgerton whose heart could not be bought, and a woman whose spirit could not be silenced. The Tun, ever fickle, begins to admire what once it scorned. Through fire and judgment, through rumor and defiance, Benedict and Sophie stand together. Their love story is no longer a secret whispered in ballrooms, but a truth shouted by every choice they make. And in that truth lies a promise that no mask, no scandal, no chain of society can hold back a heart that dares to love without fear. The curtain falls on a season unlike any other, yet the story of Benedict and Sophie is not one that ends with silence. Their love has endured whispers, their hearts have withstood doubt, and now their bond shines brighter than every chandelier that once cast them in shadow. The masked ball that began as a fleeting night has become the moment that changed everything, turning chance into destiny. Benedict no longer searches for beauty in empty canvases, for he has found it in the life he shares with Sophie. His art breathes again, but now it carries truth, not longing. Every painting, every stroke reflects the woman who stood against fear and chose love even when the world told her to stay hidden. She is not just his muse, but his equal, his anchor. The one who taught him that freedom lies not in escape, but in choosing who to stand beside. Sophie, once bound by circumstance, now walks forward with her head high. She carries the scars of her past but no longer bows to them. She knows her worth, and with Benedict by her side she proves that courage can lift even the heaviest chains. What began in secrecy now lives in the open, a love that dares to be seen by all. The Bridgerton family embraces them, their laughter filling halls once tense with uncertainty. Society too softens, some out of admiration, others out of surrender, to the undeniable. Even Lady Whistledown, sharp-tongued and merciless, cannot deny the power of their story. She writes of passion that defied tradition, of loyalty that silenced rumor, of hearts that rewrote the rules of the ton. And so the season closes, not with scandal, but with triumph. A dance once stolen becomes a future promised. A silver mask becomes a symbol of destiny, and two souls who should never have met now walk together as one. This is not only Benedict's tale, nor Sophie's. It is the story of love that refused to bow, a reminder that even in the strictest of worlds, the heart will always find its way. And when Bridgerton returns, the ton will discover that romance, scandal, and destiny have only just begun.